By the way, the Pistons have added Duncan Robinson. Now you say, okay, well, they added him because Malik Beasley has some financial problems. He's got some legal issues. He's got a federal investigation. So they quickly pivoted. They were going to pay, Detroit was going to pay Malik Beasley 3 years, $42 million. And all of a sudden they go, we need somebody who can shoot threes, who doesn't have a gambling problem, allegedly have a gambling problem. Duncan Robinson, come on, we'll take you. And Malik Beasley's got some real financial. I mean, now you realize if you get into a position, Detroit News lays this out, got into, financial disaster, loans, bad investments, and then all of a sudden, did he turn to gambling, fixing a game, prop bets? That's what appears happened. There's a whole lot of smoke here. And if there is any semblance of fire, boy, this is where you really damage a league. This is everybody talks about, no, we're monitoring and gambling and, we know what's going on. All these commissioners, all of them, this is their worst day. This is their worst nightmare. If there's something that damages the credibility, where you go, that's not real. I can watch wrestling. I know it's not real. But I'm not betting on that. If I'm watching the basketball game, football, baseball, whatever sporting event, and if you think it's not real, that's where it starts to crack at the foundation here. Malik Beasley, was he fixing games? Was he fixing his prop bets? Was he trying to do that? Did he relay information here? That's another key ingredient. He might have done that as well. He might not bet. He might have somebody who's betting for him or giving information. We're headed towards this, that this will continue because somebody doesn't think they'll get caught, or it's so easy to place a bet. And, if you don't do something with DraftKings or FanDuel or BetMGM, you're going to do offshore. That's the way they used to do it. The old days where you could place a bet, no paper trail. But Beasley getting into financial trouble. I think this is what happened with Pete Rose. Pete was a bad gambler. And then he fell back on what he knew, and that was baseball. And yes, when he finally came clean on my show years ago and said, I bet on us to win, that doesn't make it, he's not exonerated because he bet on his team to win. Because you can manipulate your lineup as well. But, Pete had to fall back on what he knew and could control, and that's baseball. And that's why he was betting so much. But this situation for the NBA, this is terrible. Terrible. This is where you hope what you're seeing is, okay, remember, Tim Donaghy was a rogue referee. David Stern said rogue referee every time he brought up that situation. Rogue referee. Do I think others were involved in that? I do. Whether it surfaces, maybe it doesn't. But rogue referee. Malik Beasley. Jonte Porter. Hey, just a scrub at the end of the bench. Nobody's going to notice if I'm fixing a game. My prop bets, they notice. Now, it took a while for Malik Beasley. But Beasley reportedly was asking other players about, hey, I think he did this with Anthony Edwards. I think he did this where he said, hey, you think you can beat me and get 7 threes tonight. Malik Beasley probably won't play in the NBA ever again. The NBA does not want him back. But this Detroit News article, he owed his barber thousands of dollars. Now, I don't know if he's using his barber and he's a bookie or there's gambling or I have no idea. I don't know how much haircuts cost, but he owes him thousands of dollars. He took out loans, and then all of a sudden you want to try to recoup this? Yeah, Paulie.
And if you go back to Tim Donaghy, that was the referee That was 2007 that story broke, but that finally gave a face to the people who question legitimacy in sports. And to this day, when I talk to people, I have friends, and they're like, remember Donaghy? It's possible. It's like the buzzword name that there was a face to it in 2007, and he's still relevant when people mention it today.
And it's a referee. We're always talking about, they're fixing a game. We don't talk about players fixing games. We talk about officials. Oh, they don't like us. They got it out for us. That was one of those where you're like, boy, if this metastasizes, this is death. But with Malik Beasley, there's a whole lot here.